Hey guys, welcome to round 2 of our ARG Easter Event at Batters-Up. On our left we have T, who's playing, looks like the baby Vegeta leader. And then on our right we have Scott Dashy, who's playing, I believe he's playing 1-2 swap Super Shenron. This is going to be a pretty good match, I feel. Just because the baby Vegeta has a lot of answers in the new form of set 6 negates. If that's all you got, that negate does you negate if you have a red leader, if you negate a card, if you negate an attack, you can pitch a card, and then you can go ahead and minus 15 2 cards. So that's gonna go and get rid of a lot of the pressure that the 1-2 swap deck wants to do. But at the same time, you know, if you end up tapped out throughout that turn, you could possibly just still lose. So let's just see how it plays out. I haven't seen this matchup played myself. I have seen the blue version of Super Shenron, the one that doesn't run the swap engine, go against the baby Vegeta deck, and it's, I want to say, usually the baby Vegeta, if they have enough gates in their hand, they can sneak up. They can usually take the W. So yeah, all right. Let's see who does end up going first here. I did not pay attention to the dice roll, so I'm sorry about that. So we'll see who charges a card in a few moments. Both players did their mulligan and etc. So they shouldn't be too much longer until they're ready. And all right. Just looking at T's hand, he opened a pretty good, but Scott Dashy does win the dice roll, and that's such a big momentum swing because the fact that if this deck can go first, it just means they get to their turn 3 faster, and that's exactly when the deck wants to pop off. So being able, again, just being able to get to turn 3 before your opponent's really good, and it also does depend on if he can, if Scott can awaken between turn 2 and 3. Because if he awakens any later than that, then that puts him really behind, as we saw in a round 1 with the regular Shenron deck. But the thing about the thing about Super Shenron, is they do run personal ambitions and stuff like that to extend their drawing cards and all that other good stuff. So here you can see that he opened. Oh my God, that's a 4-ball start. And that's going to be, that's actually a 5-ball start. So that does mean he's going to be able to turn 2 awaken. So that is indeed going to allow him to, that's going to indeed allow him to really pop off with free desire cards or draw an extra card with his lead. It is going to also allow him to draw an extra card with another Dragon Ball next turn, because when you wish out your leader, you do get a Dragon Ball from your drop. So T here is gonna start off by charging the Vegeta here. He's gonna go ahead and play the 1-drop Trunks, and he's gonna go ahead and crit himself, taking a life, giving his, well, not really crit himself, but he's gonna end up taking a life to give his Trunks 10 plus crit, and Dashy's just gonna go ahead and end up taking it. And here he's gonna go ahead and combo out when the lead attacks. So that's gonna be 10 to 10, and Dashy combos out, so that's 15. And T immediately passing turn right after that. And here I see Dashy's main decking I think it's like Harmonic Powers Vegeta. I personally ran that myself during this tournament. It's a really good answer to Veku Ramp, because you just play it, and what it does is it's a -10 ignoring barrier, so that just completely answers that deck. And even though he doesn't run red, he can just discard it and Child's Wish it out since it is 10, and at the end of the turn it goes back to his hand, so then it becomes free combo power once again. So that's a really cool tech. I do agree with it, and when Veku Ramp is a really good deck. So here he is. He used his lead auto, grabbed his 2 Dragon Balls, then wished out, grabbed the other one, drew Successor of Hope, playing it, and grabbing that dependable Dynasty Son Goku. So that should mean that his swap engine is live, because otherwise he would have just grabbed the Bardock if that was the case. And yeah, alright, so here he does play the Bardock. And auto, definitely take a life. I'm sure you guys are well aware of what Bardock does nowadays. He's going to go ahead and swing Bardock to Trunks. And that's going to be 10 to 5. T's going to just let it die, because he would have to waste 2 cards, if not maybe 1, to have this Trunks live on the board. And then there's no point, because in Dash you can just go ahead and swap and just try to kill it again. And he's just going to go ahead and attack with the Goku. And that's going to be Goku into lead. T's going to take it. Dashy plays another Bardock. He's going to go ahead and swing again at T. And I believe T is at 6 life here, after taking a life of his own with his Trunks. And alright, so Dashy here is going to combo out the Explorer Bulma. So that indicates that he does have a Child Wish in hand. He is tapped out, so that's going to extend his plays. And yeah, we just saw him hover over the Child's Wish. He's going to go ahead and play out the Goku again. And now he's going to go ahead and use the free desire of his lead. That's going to go ahead and grab the Bulma. Bulma is the reason why this deck works. He's going to go ahead and mill 2. Milling 2 Crisis Crushers on Goku's there. And it's going to mill 2, untap 2, draw a card. So even though he did play it for free with his lead, essentially if you just Child Wish anything, it's free in itself with the Bulma. Alright. And Dashy's course of action here is to attack with the Bulma. Here T's going to go ahead and just combo out that hit. I don't really expect... I'm sorry, lost my train of thought. I don't really expect the T to actually get to 4 energy and drop it. So here, Dashy plays the Bardock again, and he's going to go ahead and swing again for 10. And yeah, alright, so really big turn for Dashy here. Bringing T down to 4 life. But he's going to go ahead and swing with the Goku, and then T's going to immediately super combo, because now he's at that 4 range. And T's next turn could be pretty big, because now he has an untapped 2. So essentially he has 4 energy to work with for the following turn. Alright. So... here, Dashy adds back the Bardock. He fails to swap and immediately passes over to T. Alright, so T charging again with those Vegetas. He probably doesn't think he's going to get too much value out of it for the upcoming turns. Alright, so here he's going to play the 1-drop baby, and then immediately play another 1-drop baby. And that's going to go ahead and allow him to Union Absorb from the board. And that's going to bring out the 4-drop here. And I believe the 4-drop, you minus something by 20. And it has, I'm pretty sure it definitely has double strike. So he's going to go ahead and kill off one of the 15k Gokus. And that's going to allow him to draw a card. And the best thing about this, though, because usually early you are tapped out, he is at 4, so he can just awaken and untap 2, and definitely drop the big ape. So now he's gonna go ahead and go into that power booster baby, and he's gonna -5 the Goku. And I'm not too sure if he actually has the ape in his hand or not. So let's see what he does here. And now he's going to go ahead and attack with the 5-drop. And Dashy's going to hear and say, he's just going to negate with the Roshi. And T is going to go right ahead and use the Baby Leader auto to minus his card by 15 and minus Dashy's cards by 10. And because the Goku was minus 5 already, that just puts him to the drop. So now T is going to go ahead and attack with lead, trying to draw a card. And Dashy's going to go ahead and take it. He's not going to opt to combo out or just keeping those cards in his hand. And T does have an after image in his hand, and he does have the new negate from set 6. So keeping those are going to be really good for him. And alright, so here Dashy charging the Sorbet. Or that, or he already had the Sorbet. I wasn't really looking at his energy. But even so, if he did charge the Sorbet this turn, that just becomes a useless battle card for him, because he already has all 7 Dragon Balls in his drop. And alright, so here Dashy plays the Bardock, and he takes a life, and he swings. And alright, so here T's gonna go ahead and hit him with that negate, with the "that all you got," and he's gonna go ahead and minus 2 of Dashy's cards. And I'm not sure what he's doing with that dice, but I think that is his drop counter, so he doesn't have to constantly count his drop. So that's pretty interesting. All right. And that's it. You know what? That's exactly what he's doing. He is using the 20-sided dice to keep track of the amount of cards he has in his drop area. And T does have 1 energy tap, so if he does do a turn skip, he'll only have an open energy for the turn. And to me, Dashy does have a Dragon Radar. And he has a few super combos in his hand, actually. So, the Dragon Radar will extend his plays because he does still have his leader auto, but it does mean that he won't be able to turn skip with his lead, because he'd end up using the auto this turn. And alright, so he ends up attacking with the Bulma. And he's gonna go right ahead and super combo twice there. And the scary thing here is that T, if he tries to go too hard, T can go right ahead and actually hit him with a Revenge Death Ball. And the Revenge Death Ball will apply immediately, killing off his Bulma. And let's see, so that's going to be 20, 30, 40, 45 coming straight at T. And it seems to me that Dashy has only a few off from resetting the game state, so he's definitely trying to force that out. So let me see if I can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that'd be 17. So he'd be 3 off, actually, from being able to, doing the turn skip. And Dashy's really trying to force that out. Yeah, he still needs one more. And I do see that he has a double strike Kai in his hand. So he might just end up doing that. And then doing his lead auto to skip a turn. And he's gonna do exactly just that. So that's a lot of damage there. And one Revenge Death Ball can literally just screw him over. And exactly that happens. So the way, if you guys were wondering, the way that interaction works is Revenge Death Ball or Rampage or whichever its name is, either way, this Death Ball, the way it works is that since it's an extra card, the minus gets applied immediately before the combo power. So the Bulma would be minus 10 right there and it hits 0 and die, even though you pretty much wasted all your combo power trying to get there. And that's unfortunate because that would have put T in a really rough spot, putting him at 2 life and him being tapped out. He does have the sparking for his after images, but if he had taken it, that'd be less cards that he would have to be able to work with. So Dashy here, it looks like, okay, alright, so I thought he only had the one Child's Wish there for a second, but he did have the 2. And now he's going to go ahead and use his lead, the last, let's just call it the ultimate, and dump 20 cards. So he had exactly 21 apparently. And he's going to go ahead and just throw all those cards back into his deck. And that's going to allow him to take an extra turn. Unfortunately, T did hit him with a few negates and wiped his board. And this is why I told you this matchup isn't as bad as it would seem. Baby has just a really strong matchup against Super Shenron. For the fact that he can constantly just get rid of the cards on his board. But the good news is that all those cards that didn't drop are essentially just all good cards. You know, there's a bunch of super combos. So anything he can possibly draw is usually, for the most part, it's just really strong cards. And that's the thing about this deck that like can really offset the balance here. And Dashy does elect to charge a Dragon Radar. I'm not too sure what the rest of his hand was, but with that being said, if he would have kept the Dragon Radar for that possible turn, he can he could have gotten extended his turns with Child's Wish and etc. So he does end up milling 2 super combos there, and you can see T was ecstatic about it. But I mean, at that point, it is what it is. And he does draw a Personal Ambition off the Bulma there. And that's going to go ahead and get his drop to probably about, let me see, about 5, you know. I'm not sure if he's playing Scientist Fu or Miras. Some people like the Mira because it doesn't take the big requirement of getting down 7 back into drop. 4 is much of an easier number to reach. So here we're going to have Dashy attack with Bulma, and he's gonna go ahead and end up minusing the other one. And you know, the thing about this is that I feel like Dashy would have ended up comboing out the other Bulma anyways, so that he can Child's Wish it again. So that after image that T did was like pretty much it net him a card, but the thing is like he wasn't being attacked with crit. So the most that Dashy would have done is combo the Bulma so that he can get to 15 to extend his turn, regardless. So the after image there wasn't as impactful as others would like to think. I'd like to believe, at least for what happened there. And yeah, these commentating the Super Shenron matches, they're so long. You know, the player does end up taking 2 turns. The deck is pretty solitaire, but at the same time, I feel like it does require a really high skill level to pilot on at a good level. So here Dashy ends up attacking and super comboing. T is tapped out, so he is in a rough spot. So that's going to be 20. And I do see he has a bunch of after images, but the thing is, like, those after images will do the exact same thing. It'll literally do the exact same thing. So okay, so here he's just going to go, he's going for that damage. He's trying to drop him down to 1. So, alright, so we have Bulma, and that's going to be 20, 30, 35. Double strike. And, alright, so look at so that's going to be 20, 35. And that's going to be 40 right there. And it looked to me like T just top decked that Bulma after Bulma there. So that's quite unfortunate. Dashy's really trying to make that a big game push. Because if he doesn't win here, chances are he just ends up losing to T. So, alright. And, okay, so he does have Fu in his hand. He does have the Fu. And the issue is he only has 2 open energy. And, yeah, he only has 2 open energy, 1 more attack, and T has 3 life with an after image in his hand. So, the thing is here is that T can after image this Fu, and in doing so, he's gonna go ahead and put his leader up to 55 and minusing the Fu by 10, putting him down to 15. And for Dashy to combo out that much would be remotely insane, if I would have to say. So after dropping the Fu, he's going to go ahead and play the Krillin. Krillin's going to go ahead and attack lead. And you would think here that T would just go ahead and play the after image and probably end up minusing the Fu anyways. And hopefully combo out the Krillin. So that's going to go ahead and be 20. That's going to be 20 crit. Coming at T. And that's going to be 25. And oh, look at that. T main decks minus Killy Zone to make sure that his play goes through. And for the last attack, he's going to after image, and that's going to be T's game, because Dashy does know that with no further combo power in his hand, he just can't do anything. And really well played of T to hold on to his negates and time them pretty much properly there to hold on to his negates and leave his energy open, just so he can get rid of those pushes. If T didn't have those, that's all you got, this game probably could have been a little bit differently. But that's the matchup, guys. You know, that's just the way it works. So here we saw what T sided. He's siding in Senzu Beans and Burgos. Burgos in this matchup is really strong, because what happens here is that Bulma, for the Super Shenron deck to continue its plays, Bulma needs to untap 2 cards. And Borgo says if you untap something If your opponent tries to untap something during their turn, you get to choose one of their energies and put it in the drop area. So that's gonna really drag on Scott Dashy's turns, because he's not gonna want to tap anything, and he's gonna have to wait until he can play a Crisis Crusher Son Goku to actually remove it off the board. And in terms of that happening, that's gonna go right ahead and actually give T some additional turns to build his field until Dashy can find the answer to it. So the faster he gets to it, the better it is for him. What I possibly think Dashy's going to probably slide into, he could throw in some Crusher Balls, some more Batterings. I'm not too sure else he can side against the baby deck. It looks to me that he has some TNs in his hand, because that does work against red as well. But I guess he could assume that T might be running Senzu Beans. So if that's the case, yeah, that is definitely a good side in. So and it does become a 1-drop 15k. So at best, even if Dashy doesn't know about the Senzu Beans, a 1-drop 15k is nothing to laugh at, because at that point he's getting the energy value in terms of power for himself. So I did see the 3 TNs. I wasn't sure what the 4th card was, but for T's full side, he put in 4 Senzu Beans and 2 Borgos. I feel like this might be a long-winded battle. Again, if T can get a Borgos on the board remotely early, Dashy's gonna have to really drag out his turns until he can get Crisis Crusher, and then on the off chance that he already has a battle card on board when T plays the Crisis Crusher, he's gonna have to wait until he could either Child Wish it out or have no battle cards in play, so he can have the reduced cost of 1 for it, and that's gonna be really tough on him. And if by any miracle that T keeps the Borgos on board and drops a second one, then at that point, then Dashy's all his plays come to a halt. And alright, let's get going into this game 2 of this second round. And we know that Dashy lost, so he is definitely going to go ahead and go first again. Alright. So, again, just each player is just doing their respective mulligans. And T sent back 4, Dashy gave back 3. I did see a Child's Wish in Dashy's hand, so he's definitely keeping that. And it looks like he has a personal ambition, Actually, I'm not sure. Definitely a Dragon Ball. So he did keep a Dragon Ball and a Child's Wish. Those are really two good cards to actually start with. So that's going to be good for him. T's hand looking a little weird there. I don't see any negates in his hand either. But that can change, you know. With Dashy attacking into him and his leader being able to actually minus, by pretty much take a card from life and minus something 5 on board. It has the benefit of self-awakening. So it looks like to me that Dashy had another no Dragon Ball start in his life, and that's going to be really good because he does run self-awakeners like Bardock and Krillin. So that's gonna be really good for him. That means that his life count that's gonna add towards his extended plays is gonna be really good for him. So all right, so we got I think it's gonna be a 3 Dragon Ball start this turn. I could be wrong. Yep, I'm already proven wrong. That's gonna be 4 Dragon Ball start. And Yeah, so he's just going to immediately pass over it there. So I guess he didn't open up with a personal ambition. It could have been a Crisis Crusher or something else. But he did keep 3 cards, so I'm trying to figure out what exactly the card was. Could have been that Bulma, actually. So T is going to here just go ahead and attack into lead. And pretty much just go ahead and... Jesus. And Dashy's going to combo out the Bulma. Again, I'm so sorry, guys. My mind's just wandering off here. Alright, so then after playing the 1-drop, he's going to go ahead and pass. Dashy charging Bardock on top of the Successor Hope he charged last turn. To me, that means that Dashy has an abundance of those cards in hand. I don't see why he would charge those without having any extra copies. Okay, so we do see he had another Bulma in hand. So with 2 energy and we do know he has a Child's Wish. So his plays are going to be extended. That's going to be a 6 Dragon Balls in his drop. So he just needs to get 1 more. And if he's lucky enough, he might be able to... Oh, wait, that's 7. He's doing really good of just top decking into those Dragon Balls after. So that is going to be 7. He's going to go ahead and... that's another turn to awaken. I swear, every time I see this deck, they just constantly turn to awaken. And here, Dashy's going to go ahead and actually use the free wish. And, well, unfortunately, he didn't have anything tapped, so he doesn't get the full value of the Bulma. And that's quite unfortunate that he had to do it that way. And again, he's going to go ahead and do the same thing. And I don't think he did use the leader auto there. I thought he did for some strange reason, but I don't think he did, because Dashy's been using dice to mark the fact that he used his leader auto. So that should still be available to him. I think that's a good way to keep track, especially if I'm for stream judges and for the players themselves. And just a good way to keep track in general. So Dashy here is going to go ahead and attack with the Bulma and combo out the other Bulma on board. So that tells right there that he already has a 3rd Child's Wish to play, and which he does. And he's just going to go ahead and do the thing, you know? Mill 2, untap 2, draw a card. And now he's going to go ahead and play the Successor of Hope. And that should grab him. Let's see, what does that end up grabbing him here? And he's gonna go ahead and grab that Grandpa Gohan. And I want to say that the other Bardocks are probably in his life then, if that's the case, if he's grabbing the Grandpa Gohan. And that is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe about 9 to 10 cards in his drop. So he's halfway there on the reset. And he's doing pretty good. It's not bad. He does have, and oh, he actually, if I just saw that correctly, he does have the 4th Child Wish in his hand. So he's gonna go ahead and attack lead, combo out the Bulma that he had in his hand, and play his 4th and final Child's Wish. And if he has any Dragon Radars, this will greatly extend his turn. And Dashy's deck is looking pretty low now. After all those mills. So the Bulma's just really good for this strategy. Mill 2, draw 1, so that's 3 out of deck every time. And it looks like just Dashy just gave up on the dice. And let's see. Does he have a Dragon Radar to extend his turn here? And if he could possibly turn to T here if that is the case. And that's going to be I believe it's just 10 to 10. And T is going to take it. And the reason why he's probably taking it is that he wants to get to the point where he can untap if his turn is skipped this following one. And now Dashy's going to go ahead and use his leader auto to draw a card. So that is out of the table. Out of the question. So that tells me that he doesn't have the radar in hand either. Because if he did have the radar in hand, he would tap one, grab 2 more Child's Wishes, probably summon the Grandpa Gohan and try to extend his turn in a way where then he can use his oh, actually he might have drawn the Dragon Radar right then and there. So I'm sure if he did have the Dragon Radar beforehand, he would have done it the other way around. But anyways, what I was saying is if he had the Dragon Radar beforehand, he could have just used it and grabbed the 2 Child's Wishes, play his Grandpa Gohan, maybe swap into something, and then use his leader auto to continue his turn. But his deck is looking pretty low, and the thing about his drop, I want to see like it's probably halfway there, maybe 12 cards in his drop. Let me see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. It's about 10 in drop. So and the fact that he has no way to really self-awaken at this current time is putting him in that scenario where that the extra cards in his life are stuck there, and T's pretty much just whittling down this Dashy's board state so that when it comes back to his turn, he won't have as many attackers and he has to rebuild the board again. And this is something that the baby deck is really good at doing, is just whittling down your opponent's board. So here he does play the power booster baby again, and this time he does have the ape. So the thing about this ape is that it's gonna get value for every turn that it's on the board. And when I mean every turn, through Dashy's turn skip, that's gonna be -20 to pretty much every card that the first card that Dashy plays. So T in a really good spot, and he's gonna go ahead and take the damage there, and this is gonna be triple strike coming in Dashy, and I don't see why he wouldn't just take it, because he does want to get to the point where he's at 4 life. He does run the Black Roshi Super combo, which does work exactly when you're at 4. But that ape right there is gonna put a lot of pressure on Dashy, and let's see if he has any answers or any ways to be able to get rid of it. And if you heard that crack, guys, that was just that was just me cracking my neck, and I just had to do it. It was bothering me, so sorry about that. Alright, so here he charges the Roshi. That's one of his many negates. He probably does run Nimbus as well. And alright, so he plays Successor, and he's gonna go ahead and grab the Son Goku there. And you gotta take into account the very first card he plays is gonna be minus, so that's gonna be 1 less energy for his turn. And he does have 2 Child's Wish in his hand, so he's gonna go ahead and start off with Child's Wish and play the Bulma. And now the Bardock's gonna activate. And now he's gonna go ahead and drop 1 and then draw a card. With 3 cards left in deck, I do believe he's getting to around the point that might be about 18. I do like the way Dashy lays out his drop area. It allows me to count it easier, so I can give you guys that kind of information. But with that actually, I think it might be 1 off. Yeah, so it looks like he has 19 in drop there. And yeah, alright, so here he's gonna end up playing the Bardock, and that's gonna let him take a life. And he just needs to probably combo out 2 cards, because he's probably gonna want to keep a Bulma in his drop area. And now he's gonna go ahead and attack. And that's gonna be 15. It's gonna be 15 to lead. And the scary thing is that if he tries to over combo, T did punish him with a shocking death ball the last time around. So Dashy probably has to keep that in the back of his mind, that if he tries to do too much, that T can punish him again with another shocking death ball. So he is gonna go ahead and go super combo. So that's gonna be 25 coming. Yeah, that's going to be 25 coming at him. And that is going to put his drop to, I believe, 21, if I counted that correctly, after these combos. And alright, so T did out combo it, and you see that he threw a few Zenos in there even though they have 0 combo power, and that's so he could have the requirement for sparking 5. And that's really smart of him. He does have extra cards to burn, knowing those Zenos are going to be dead in his hand anyways, so why not just get them in the drop? And now Dashy does end up swapping into the Son Goku, and that's going to go ahead and be 15 to lead. And Dashy's just here taking this chance to actually just make sure that he has about 20 plus in his thing, and I do believe that's 21 in drop. So that's a pretty decent number. And it looks like Dashy did decide to have no combos there. So that's going to be 15 to 15. But he looks like he only pitched 1 card. I'm not too sure if the math adds up right there. He may have pitched 2 cards. I probably wasn't paying attention. But a pretty intense match, if you ask me, though. And it does look like Dashy does have a Fu in his hand, so if he could get 6 more cards in his drop, he will get immediate value. And he's playing the Child's Wish immediately right away, and that's gonna go ahead and mill 2, draw 1, and he didn't mill any cards that he needed like he did in game 1, which was the super combos. So here he really used his leader ultimate here, so he doesn't get the free wish. So anything that he possibly does this turn, it would just have to be extensions of the plays that he's trying to do. And he is 4 cards off from dropping that Fu in his hand. So let's see what Dashy can do here. He may not try to drop the Fu this turn. He might want to try to drop it the following turn. And hope to maybe abuse Child's Wish a little bit more. So here he's going to go ahead and super combo. That's going to put his Bulma to 20. And I do not see a Death Ball. And in T's hand, so he is in a Dashy's in a good spot this time around. And alright, I think that's just 20 to lead. So here, it could be seen that that you could take it as Dashy is trying to just whittle down T's hand size. Unfortunately, alright, so T does have the negate. That's all you got, and unless Dashy has a battering, he's gonna be in a weird. He's gonna lose the battle cards he has on board. And alright, so here he's gonna go ahead and after image. He's gonna use the sparking to -10 the Bulma, and that's gonna be a Bulma gun. And he still has the following negate for his turn, but him taking the damage essentially means that that Dashy did get what he wanted to, was minus pretty much getting him down to 3. So now he's gonna go ahead and attack with Bardock, and that's gonna put him. Let's see. So far, he just needs to combo about 2, maybe 1 card here, and that's gonna drop another card from T's hand, and he's gonna go ahead and combo with that Pan. And looks like T only has about 3 cards in his hand, and one of them is a Senzu Bean. So the unfortunate part here is because one of those are Senzu Bean, that is dead combo power, and one of them is a negate, so he has to keep the other open red in his hand, if it is a red card, to actually be able to answer Dashy's board here. So Dashy here charges the other successor of Hope. He probably knows that there isn't any other Gokus in his deck at this point, so he's gonna go ahead and just swap immediately to have the ape trigger. And because it did trigger, that means T did get another card for the turn, and that's gonna be pretty good for him. So now we're gonna have it's gonna be 15 to lead, and this is Dashy's second turn, putting him at 2. So now this would be the point where T could just go right ahead and burn some of those negates that he has, and he does have to be careful. So he is gonna after image again, and alright, so he still takes the life for the sparking cost. And alright, so Dashy here dumping actually a second battering. That could be a little risky unless he does have a third one in his hand. And Dashy does need to tap for this battering, so let's see if he does get around to it. But that is gonna be alright. So yeah, Dashy takes it, and with really good plays there. That battering really coming in clutch, and just being able to super combo and using the East Kai there for a double strike. So far, a pretty intense game. I feel like if it probably wasn't for that battering, T could have been in a really strong spot. But with just that second turn, man, Super Shenron just can really get there. He didn't have as many negates as he possibly could, and he only had the 2 energy compared to the 3 the last time, I believe. So it's not too bad here. Unfortunately, this is about 49 minutes in, so time is coming up soon. So unless something could happen, these players could end in a draw. So let's see what they end up doing here. And T's just getting straight into this. He doesn't want the game to be a draw. Dashy's just taking his chances real quick to see what he can possibly do. This will be the first time T actually goes first in this match, so that's gonna put him in a good spot. I feel like there's not too much I can possibly say at this given moment. I'm just trying to fill in this fill in the space while they are siding and pretty much getting their stuff ready. And alright, T's taking this chance to actually pile shuffle Dashy's deck. And I do not believe that any of them did change what they cited out or cited. It's one of those moments where, since time is coming up, you just look at your side and say, do I really still need this in here? Does this still work? And I've been there before, where it's just like, yeah, these cards are still good, even though I'm going second. And T's game plan is still to try to get the Borgos out as soon as possible. You do see that I do believe he's keeping a Zeno in his hand as that blue energy, because if he does happen to draw Borgos at one given point, it's that's pretty much where he's gonna end up being at. Is he's gonna need a blue energy anyways, so that's pretty smart of him to keep it. Even though I really doubt that he is going for a chain. He's not going for a chain Zeno, and you can see he keeps a Zeno and after image, and I'm not sure what the third card was. With Dashy playing the 1-2 swap engine, his turn 1 probably won't be too big, but he can play a Bardock and he can attack at least twice. So that should put T somewhere in the realm of maybe 5 or 6 life. But if Dashy does attack with about 5 or 6 life, the issue here being is that T will be in this weird spot. Well, not even being a weird spot. If Dashy does attack him twice, T could just take a life and get himself down to 4. And it does look like he didn't choose to use the leader auto, because he doesn't want to drop himself any lower than that, since it is time. And you can tell throughout this matchup that he hasn't really been taking life anyways. Just because if the thing about this matchup is, like, normally in any other matchup you can go right ahead and start taking your life for leader auto and pretty much getting yourself to awaken as fast as possible. But what this matchup is, since Super the 1-2 swap Shenron Storm deck, they can just attack a numerous amount of times and constantly extend their plays, and you can't potentially defend against all of it. So you're gonna be slowly either taking the life or trying to defend yourself. And if you go ahead and just start taking your own life for your own effect, that just means you have to use more cards in order to actually get where you need to be. So here he actually plays the Sorbet the first time around for this matchup, and that's gonna go ahead and net him another Dragon Ball. And that's gonna be a 4-ball start. So he's just 3 off from actually awakening, and that's about it. That's his turn. Alright, so here T is charging his first red of the game. And alright, so here you can see that he already opened up the Borgos. And alright, so here's the issue, right? Okay, okay, my point just went out the window, but my issue would be that because Dashy had a card on the board, that means that he doesn't get the free 1-drop Crisis Crusher, but T does end up taking a life and choosing the Sorbet. So at any given point, if Dashy does draw it, now he has a 1-drop out to this Crisis, to this Borgos. But at the same time, it is gonna put him slightly behind, because that means he has 1 less energy to play with. That means that he can't really combo off with his Bulmas. And I feel like since T hasn't shown that he's been running Sensu these Borgos at all, that Dashy didn't expect it, because another one of the cards that that yellow can side is that I think it's like Freezer Biting Its Time, where it takes a 2-drop or less ignoring barrier and switches it into the rest mode. So where Dashy could have played that and answered the Borgos, but because he didn't see those, he possibly didn't. Because he didn't see the Borgos, he probably didn't think of siding it. And the reason why I do believe Dashy does side it is because he is playing the 1-2 swap version of the deck. and in doing so, one of his hardest counters is going to be striving to be the best Son Goku, which is a really good card. So, alright, let's see what he ends up playing here, because he can't just play a free Child's Wish and expect his plays to be extended. So, now he's going to go ahead and play the Grandpa Gohan. Grandpa Gohan's going to go ahead and switch off to this Son Goku. And that's going to be 15 to lead. And with this Borgos on the board, T is literally forcing Dashy just to play as though he had a regular Shenron leader. And just pretty much a regular version of Storm without the extra Broly shenanigans and etc. This is like one of the hard counters to this deck. And this is why people main deck or side at least 3 to 4 Crisis Crusher Son Gokus in total. Because there's so many different removes for it. There's the Nuis, there's the TP Veku that just came out, and here as I'm explaining all these different counters, T actually plays a second Borgos. So not only is Dashy in a rough spot, now he has to deal with 2 Borgos. So even if he does manage to get a Crisis Crusher Son Goku, he still has to wait multiple turns to get rid of both of them. And that's really scary. Because now he's just stunned for the turn. And T can coast through this game. And even if he doesn't end up killing him, at worst it'll be a draw. But with the way that T's deck can really pop off with that baby ape, I want to say just at this given point, he can possibly win this within time. So, alright, so here Dashy did wish out this turn. So he's going to go ahead and grab the Dragon Ball for flipping over and just playing it immediately. And I want to say most of the matches I've seen of this Saturday event that these Super Shenron decks did go into time. Just because they have such long-winded turns, but at the same time, they can just blow out some decks if given a pretty good hand. You know, they can take 2 cards and say, yo, this hand's really good. Like just having Dragon Radars in your hands just extend all your plays, and it's quite ridiculous. It's really scary what this deck can do. So he's gonna immediately just go ahead and play this this Child's Wish here, and he's gonna mill 2. And he's gonna choose not to untap anything because he didn't tap anything to begin with, and that's gonna just let him draw a free card. So I'm trying to figure out here, what would Dashy's game plan be? What could he do? And I don't think he sides the Heart of Mastery list to be able to play around these Borgos in a sense where, okay, hey, you stopped me, so now we're just gonna play this slow grindy game. But it doesn't seem it. So here he's gonna play another Child's Wish, and that's gonna go ahead and tap 2, and he's just using that to just try to draw into an answer. With 2 open energy, T does have all these negate options again, with That's All You Got and After Image, which we do see at least one of those in his hand. So I want to say T's in no real danger, and he's just going to go ahead and pass, not even tapping any of those to attack. He wants to keep those open so that if it gets to the point where so he wants to get those open, to leave those open so they're not in rest mode, so that they don't die off. But the thing is that here is that T can just go off and ahead and just minus everything on his board. So here time was called, as you can tell. So now players have 10 minutes to do 0, 1, 2, 3, and that'll indicate whether whoever wins or lose. Win or lose or draw. So alright. So here T does end up charging another one of those power booster babies. It looks to me that he doesn't have the chain at all in his hand, and he's gonna just actually pass turn because he doesn't want to drop himself below 6. I believe the player with the least amount of lives, and the player with the least amount of lives, when time is after the 0, 1, 2, 3, ends up losing anyways. So with Dashy with 3 cards on board, he has quite a few attacks that T has to defend with. T has 4 open cards. He has sensu beans, I believe. So he's in a good spot. And I believe T was turn 0 when time was called. So Dashy is turn 1. And now he's going to go ahead and use leader auto to draw a card. And he's going to go ahead and just pass right over. Not even swinging. And he's going to go ahead and charge and pass immediately after. Not bothered to attack either. So it seems here that they're just going to draw anyways. So there's... I think that's what they're going for. Because if they were trying to really force it, then that would be it. You know, Dashy would just go ahead and swing over with these Bulmas. And swing with these thing. And he's actually going to go ahead and attack. He's going to go ahead and play the That's All You Got. And Dashy's going to go ahead and battering that. Discarding the Roshi. So now T is going to go ahead and play the Senzu Bean and untapping energy. That's going to put him at 15. And Dashy said no combos. And he did have the TN in his hand, but it didn't really matter too much in this scenario. They're both at 6 life. And now he does play the TN. If he would have played the TN beforehand, he would have been able to drop an energy. And alright, so they're just going to pick up, and that's going to end up in a draw. Really good game. Weird ending there because both players could have tried to press the issue there. But besides that, I was in honor of being able just to do some voiceover commentary on these ARG matches. I'm glad that I was able to fix my camera situation and do what I needed to do to be able to get you guys this content. And I hope you guys enjoy these lengthy videos. We do have a few more videos to post for this week. But for the most part, round 3, I believe. You know what? I'm not even too sure what round 3 is or what decks are playing yet. I've yet to watch the video. So, like I said yesterday, you know, these videos are just as much a surprise to me as it is to you. But you know, I really want to take this chance to thank you guys. You know, we're coming up real fast on the 200 mark on subscribers. I know I said a couple of videos ago that I was gonna try to do 100 subscription giveaway. It's been near impossible to get my hands on some Broly structure decks. They've just been sold all over the place. I promise for sure on the 200 mark that we'll do something big and spectacular. We'll figure something out for sure, guys. But as far as everything's been going great. I'm going to be able to bring you guys all 4 rounds of our locals coming up soon. But this is Team Spicy Boys signing out. I hope you guys have yourself a good morning and a good night to whenever you guys are, whatever time of day you guys are watching this. And stay tuned for round 3, and that should be posted sometime tomorrow. Alright, thank you guys and have a good night.